Buenas tardes chicos, soy profe Yang y hoy vamos a hablar sobre el pretérito irregular. So last week we talked about regular pretérito, which was the past tense in Spanish. This is still the past tense. The same tense, it's just now we're going to dig into a bunch of the irregularities of the past tense, and we're going to try and use them in context. But today we're just going to talk about how you form them and some of the irregulares that appear in el pretérito. So let's start. Tener, estar, and andar all have similar sorts of endings in Espanol in the past. So let's take a look. Okay, we have tuv, so the root of it changes to tuv, estuv, and anduv. A lot of that uv, that uv part of thing. So how do you understand this little page that you're seeing? So on the left side with the green where I wrote, you have the root, the new root, the irregular root, for these verbs in el pretérito. And on the right side of the blue line, you have the endings for all three of these verbs, all the same. So you have tuve, tuviste, tuvo, tuvimos, tuvieron, estuve, estuviste, estuvo, estuvimos, tuvieron, anduve, anduviste, anduvo, anduvimos, anduvieron. Okay, so each page is going to kind of look like this. We're going to roll through the different pretérito irregular conjugations. Here's a whole bunch of them. We've done some of these in class already that you may notice. I'm just going to go ahead and write through here. You can take some notes to make sure that you got it. So we have is, quis, sup, pud, pus, and vin. So an example of hacer be yo hice. Querer be ella quiso. For saber would be nosotros supimos. For poder be tú pudiste. For poner you'd say ellos pusieron. And for venir would be ella vino. Okay? So go ahead and make sure you get those down in your apuntes. Okay? Here we saw some of these in class as well, so let's do these. We have decir, which is to say, dij. These are all the ones that go to a J. So, traj, conduj, and traduj. Okay? And the only thing that's a little bit weird about these ones that's different from the other types of the irregulars that you saw is that they're, the ellos, ellas, ustedes form is different. It doesn't have the I, so that's something to take a look at. You don't know what these verbs mean? Let me just go back. You don't know what these verbs mean? We have tener means to have, estar means to be, andar means to go or to walk, hacer means to do or make, querer means to want, saber means to know, poder means to be able to, poner means to put or place, and venir means to come. Decir means to say or tell, traer means to bring, conducir means to drive, like a car, and traducir means to translate. Then there's these ones which we've already begun to use a little bit, and what's a little confusing about ir and ser is that both ir, which means to go, and ser, which means to be, have the same conjugations, same words in el pasado. So if you want to say I went, you'd say yo fui. If you want to say I was, you would also say yo fui. So the difference between I was in a place and I was a teacher we can talk about more in class. That's the difference between ser and estar. Mostly we're going to be using ir as these conjugations. Fui, fuiste, fue, fuimos, and fueron. But there'll be times too when if you want to say the food was delicious, we'd say la comida fue deliciosa. Okay, so these are the conjugations for ir and ser. For dar, it doesn't look that weird, but the weird part about it is that dar is an AR verb. And we get these ER and IR endings, so that's kind of weird. Di, diste, dio, dimos, and dieron. Okay, so just before we do practice, we have a laundry list of verbs here that all need to be memorized and used and practiced to be able to get to where we need to be for el pretérito, because these are very common verbs. Okay, so we have these three. You've got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 verbs with really only 15 different conjugations. Okay, so that's what we'll need to know. Esta semana, we're going to work through it in class orally and in writing. So this video lección should be really important for you as a reference as we go ahead. So let's go ahead and do some práctica. Okay, there are 10 questions, hay 10 preguntas de práctica que necesitan hacer para la tarea esta noche. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, y 10. Okay? So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Muchas gracias por escuchar, chicos, y por mirar este video. Vamos a hablar sobre todo durante la clase mañana. Muchas gracias, chao.